Morning guys, welcome back to ShedTorque. I spend a lot of time in my van, driving my lads to school in the mornings, whether I'm going to work or driving back. Because I live about a 35-minute drive, sometimes 40-minute drive depending on traffic from work, I just wanted to do like a section on my YouTube where I don't talk about engineering or motorbikes or science or anything like that. Just basically a section where I can rant, because all the time when I'm driving I'm thinking about things I've heard in the news, read in the news, things I've seen, and because there's just so much going on right now in the world with everything, and I'm a thinker, I'm definitely a thinker, and I find as I'm driving I'm just consumed with all these thoughts. So I want to record them and put them out there just as cause for, or topic for conversation really. And the one thing that is really bugging me at the minute is this text alert. And, you know, I'm sure you've read about it, heard about it, you've had the message pop on your phone by now, unless of course you've turned it off, which is what I did, and which is what many others did probably. Now, I'm going to be labelled as a conspiracist because my opinions are different, maybe outlandish, same as other people's probably. But for me, this was sold to us as it's a way of letting us know about, you know, threat to life or imminent danger. Well, if you just think about that for a second, right? Okay. What could possibly happen? Right now I live in Wales, right? I'm surrounded by hills, right? In the middle of nowhere, really. What could possibly happen that's that bad that I need a text message to come through on my phone to warn me of an imminent threat to life? Now, I'm pretty far from the coast, so it's not going to be a tsunami. I'm a good hour. Could be, obviously, eventually. Depends on the size of the tsunami. But, come on. Am I not going to hear about that beforehand? Am I not going to hear that an asteroid has landed off the coast of Aberystwyth and we're all about to be fish food? Now, what other imminent threat to life could there be? Like imminent, about to happen. A military strike? An airstrike? Pretty sure I'd know about that beforehand. I'm sure I'd know if we were being invaded. And even if we were, I wouldn't really be paying much attention to my phone if I live in a war zone. What's the other thing? Imminent threat. Nuclear explosion. Right. Now, forget what it is, right? Now, with all of those things, tsunami, nuclear, airstrike, right? What can I do about it? And where can I go? If there's a tsunami, I could climb a really high hill. If there was a war, I can't do fuck all. I'm not getting away from missiles. I've got a nuclear bunker in my garden. The other thing it could be, of course, is a virus. A virus so deadly that I need to be informed of it right away. But even so, where can I go and what can I do? I still have to have contact with people. Even if I go in my house and lock myself in, right? At some point, I'm going to run out of food. At some point, I need to pick up my lad from school or interact with someone somehow. So I'm really, really confused by why we need an imminent threat to life warning, right? So they've sold it to us as that, and then everyone's like, kind of like, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. And it's like we just accept. We accept it. We're like, oh, whatever, that's a good idea. Yeah, go on then. So if you get the message, do us all a favour and just swipe it to let us know. Now, here's another thing. In my opinion, my humble opinion, it's got nothing to do with an imminent threat to life at all. Because none of the above, like I've just discussed, would matter. You can't do anything about it anyway. And for me, this is just an exercise about control. It's about access to your phone at government level so that we can, number one, know how many people interacted with it, because as far as I'm aware, even if I've turned off my emergency alert, it would have been sent to my phone from my network provider. So my network provider is PlusNet. PlusNet wouldn't not send it to me because I've disabled alerts on my phone. They don't know I've disabled the alerts on my phone. Huawei might know I've just disabled the alerts on my phone. They shouldn't do, but they might. So PlusNet are going to send it to me anyway, right? It's going to go out from the data centre to all of their customers. It's a government instruction. Now the alert's off on my phone. So for me, it's about the government control and knowledge of that, and also retrieval of that data. So it's like, basically, right, we've sent it out to this many people, let's see how many people interact. So they'll obviously get a percentage back to say this is how many people interacted with that message, so you had to swipe. Now, I didn't get the alert, so I don't know what would have happened if I would have left the alert on my screen and not interacted with it at all. Because as far as I'm aware, you have to have had to interact with that message for it to go away, right? So there's the data collection point. Swipe, they've had it. Okay, so that's the first thing. We've now got a number of how many people interacted with that message. Second thing, is it about the fingerprints? Because you've got a fingerprint scanner on your screen, which is in a certain position on the screen, which is on part of the digitizer, right? There's nothing to say that what would you call it? Graphical user interface, a GUI that comes up on the screen. There's nothing to say that can't have a fingerprint recognition or fingerprint collection as part of that. So it could be about fingerprint retrieval. We've now got the fingerprint of the person who owns that phone. Could be. The other thing it could be about is the scaremongering factor, which is we want control. We want everybody to know, right? Because you now know when you hear that noise, it means imminent threat to life, imminent danger. What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? How do I need to do it? Instructions, right? So you hear that now on your phone, you're going to go, oh my God, what is it? Okay, so there's the control element. We've got you. We've got your attention. I advised people, just turn it off, turn the emergency alert system off on your phone. And what's funny as well, and I put this on my TikTok, is that they do a bloody good job of hiding, and it's not in the notification section on all phones. They do a really good job of hiding where they put that emergency alert section. Because on my Huawei phone, I can't remember now off the top of my head where it was, but it wasn't obvious. It wasn't obvious at all. It was really difficult to find. And I found it, and I didn't get the message. Now the government know now, my mobile phone number, there was no interaction, so they know I turned it off. So I didn't even have to get the message, right, to not interact with it, for them to know that I didn't. They just know I didn't because there was no feedback from my number. And they'll also know that And that's the disturbing bit, because GDPR, my mobile phone number, is private and it's personal. The problem is, I've given my mobile phone number to various people over the years. You know, if I register for something like, I don't know, Rev Comps, those competitions to win motorbikes and cars, put your mobile phone number in. You download an app, put your mobile phone number in. So loads of people have got my number anyway. So can PlusNet give the government my mobile phone number to say, for them to know that I didn't interact? That's the interesting part for me. How do they know who interacted? So the government mustn't have everyone's phone numbers for the data, because what data would they have otherwise? And this is the bit, the GDPR bit, that I'm not sure how much they want you to know about. Because if you think about it, right, PlusNet have got all of my information, right, my personal information. Now, have PlusNet had, it gets a bit confusing, but have PlusNet had an instruction from the government that says, send out this message, okay? Or have they had an instruction that says, send out this message, and that message that goes out is linked to the government? So it's not linked to PlusNet, but the graphical user interface, when you swipe it, is that, because it's got to be a program. It's got to be a program. It's got to be an executable file of a sort, or it doesn't work quite like that on Android, but it's got to be a program, because it can't just be a notification, because where did the notification come from? So for example, Huawei, my phone, if I get a text message, it comes up in a certain way. WhatsApp comes up in a certain way. It comes up in a certain way because WhatsApp is a program, so the notification looks the same. Yeah? But I've had to install WhatsApp, okay? But my messages that are on my phone, my SMS messages, that's Huawei software. So if I get an SMS, right, that's Huawei's control. That's their program. That's already in my phone. That's part of my phone. What I want to know is, was the government message its own little executable program that run and collected the data? So when you swipe, it collects it, right? It must be a program, because it can't just be a notification, because they want to know who swiped. They want to know who interacted. But to know who interacted, there has to be a result of that action. So the swipe is the action, the result, the collection of data is who swiped. So therefore it wasn't a notification, it was a program. It has to be. There you go. This is my concern. This is my concern about the whole thing. It's the start, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's planting the seed for bigger things. But as I say, what imminent threat? It's sold to us as it's in case there's an imminent, it's some worldwide information you need to know about. That's why we've got Sky News. That's why we've got CNN. That's why we've got Reuters. You know, we've got news channels to tell us. I'm not even going to mention the other one. Biggest crooks going. But so they sold it as it's a notification that'll come up on your phone to warn you of imminent threat to life. It's just like an exercise, so that, yeah. But there's so much more than that. It's so much more. And it's not a notification. A notification comes from a program. So it's a program. But to be a program, it has to be installed, or it could have run in a script. So it could have run as a script, like on a website, like on a computer. People worry about viruses all the time, but viruses are specific, and actually only a small percentage of computers actually ever get infected with viruses, because those are the ones you get in an email, like a little program, and you have to double click it, and that runs the file, that runs the executable file. So, those are like Trojan horses and stuff like that. Those get in through the back door. But this is the thing. People don't realise, when we talk about antivirus, it's like malware. is just as much of an issue, because that's when the scripts run. When you go to a website and you click www.microsoft.com, because they're crooks and all, when you actually hit that enter button and that page loads, the page is a script. The page is script. It's code. It's run in the background, and there's nothing to stop websites running script or code in the background. Obviously, Microsoft, the Windows Defender, and all this other stuff recognises it. What I'm saying is, this notification, upon swiping, could simply run a script, a data collection script, because there's no way that was just a notification, because notifications require programs or scripts. Where did it come from? Who designed it? Who designed the interface? Did it come as an update on your phone? When you last updated the software on your phone, did you actually install the program that allows the notification to come through? Guarantee something like that has happened. Guaranteed. But yeah, what's it all for? What's it all for? So I'm going to put this video up, right, as a off-the-topic rant, because it's stuff that interests me, right? I'm going to put it on my YouTube, and you know what? I don't think it'll even last very long, because the truth hurts, right? And everyone goes, oh, mate, you're thinking about it way too much. But yeah, maybe, but I did this about a few other things too. You know, and Matt Hancock proved me right. So there we go. Guys, got to think about stuff. Got to be a thinker. I know some people aren't. Some of my friends, some of my family just think, what on earth? Why does it even matter? Well, of course it matters. Of course it matters. Why wouldn't it matter? Anyway, rant over. A couple of miles from home, and I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, and leave your comments. Leave your comments. I'm interested to hear about all of it. But you know, I've taught information technology for a long time, alongside engineering at GCSE at A-level. I've programmed websites. I've programmed programs. Delphi was my language. C++. There we are. I build computers. Sometimes you can know too much, can't you? That's the trouble. Anyway, I've waffled enough, guys. Thanks for watching ShedTorque, by the way, as well. You know, motorbikes is my passion. Engineering is my passion. Information technology is my passion. Maths is my passion. I can't help who I am, but hopefully that enlightened you somewhat, and maybe you're just going to say I'm talking total bollocks, but when it comes to the graphical user interface part, the swiping part, the imminent threat to life bollocks. Do you know the only imminent threat to life I've got living here? Sheep. Too many sheep. They could take me out at any time. I'm sure it's like ratio of like 100 to 1. I'm outnumbered. Anyway, have a good day. Speak soon. Cheers, guys.